On the hot seat today, we have Brian Burke, hockey executive broadcaster. Welcome, and thank you for doing this. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being in a hot seat. As you know, we are raising money for animal shelters. And I want to thank our sponsor, CanadaLand.com, for their donation. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. So I'm going to tell you our rules. We have prepared 10 questions for you, and you're going to choose only 6 random questions. Some of the questions are super easy, and some of the questions are a little bit more challenging. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
I just want to mention that for every question answered, animal shelters benefit, so no pressure, but let's do that. So please choose any number between 1 and 10.
6.
Number 6. Okay. What is one trade that you didn't make and wished you had? One that you made and you wished you didn't.
Well, there's a whole bunch I made that I wished I hadn't. If you're a GM for a long time like I was, you're going to make a bunch of bad trades. Probably my worst trade was I traded a non-playoff second round and third round pick when I was in Vancouver for Vadim Shurikinov. And everyone was watching is going, who? And exactly, who? The one that we tried to get in on, we got in too late probably, was when Jumbo Joe Thornton got traded from Boston to San Jose. We got word what's going down, and we tried to hijack it. We weren't able to. It would have been nice to have him.
Okay.
All right.
Ching, ching, we make money. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you.
please pick another number between 1 and 10, except 6.
2.
Number 2. Here we go. You've had what many would consider a dream jobs. You were a hockey agent, GM, and are now a broadcaster. Is there anything else that you did that we would be envious of?
Including a long time ago.
No, I don't think so. I worked security at a Rolling Stones concert once. That was kind of cool.
Yes, I remember me wearing my shirt, and you mentioned the story last time. I was hoping you're going to share this.
Yeah, so they played the St. Paul Civic Center in Minnesota, where I grew up, and I went home and played summer hockey and worked in the summers during the off season. And a buddy of mine, his dad owned the biggest security company in the Twin Cities, and they hired us, Billy Sims, and they hired his company to be security for the Stones.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked me to show up I was ripped back then. They asked me to show up in a tight white T-shirt and blue jeans. And I weighed maybe 215 in the summertime. The guy next to me was 235, 240. The guy next to him was like 260. So the stage manager told me, he said, you're too small. You got to work the stage door. So I got to meet them all. I talked to them all. I talked to Charlie Watt for probably half an hour. It was great.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's amazing. Bravo.
Thank you. We're doing so well. Okay, another question between 1 and 10, please.
Do 9. Do Mr. Howe's number.
Okay, 9. Okay. Oh, what's the future of women's hockey? Can it be profitable?
Yeah, women's hockey is amazing. It's so exciting to watch. There's such great athletes. I don't think any sport has progressed more than women's hockey has in the last 20 years. If track and field had kept pace with women's hockey, Usain Bolt would be running a 6-second 100-meter. They have just taken the world by storm. The vast improvement. It's such a great product. They've got to sort out this situation with this North American League. The NHL get involved once that's sorted out. And the future is very, very bright. Can it be profitable? Not without the NHL being involved. And it's a slow build. It's going to take a while. Mm-hmm. But all these people who tell me you support women's hockey, I go to the games. I don't see you there. So start buying tickets when they come back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, you answered 3 questions. 3 more to go.
3 more.
Please take any number.
Okay, take 4.
Number 4. what are you most proud of as the former GM of the Leafs, and what do you regret the most?
Well, I mean, I had an unsuccessful tenure with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's that simple, and it's fashionable in society now to duck responsibility, but we didn't get the job done. I was given adequate time to do that and didn't get it done. I think that the hole we were in was a little deeper than I thought, but I left a team that made the playoffs after I got fired. That team made the playoffs first time in 6 or 7 or 8 years. Proud of that. Proud of some of the pieces I left on the table, but didn't get the job done. And then when the team got sold, it was just too easy to get rid of me. So very proud of my time here. Loved it, and very proud to have been the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but didn't get the job done.
All right.
Thank you. 2 more questions. One more number, please.
10.
Number 10. Okay. You were able to draft the Sedin twins. How did you manage that? And how long did it take you to distinguish between the two of them?
Their first year, Danny Sedin got a cut on his lip. He got like 5 stitches on his upper lip. We're all so excited. You know, finally we'll be able to tell them apart, but the scar faded right away, so it didn't help us at all. We were all mad about that. It took me a long time. Even today, 20 years later, even today, I need a good hard look at them. I can't be 10 feet away. I've got to be 3-4 feet away, and then I can easily tell them apart. But back then, I mean, the day I drafted them, I held out 2 sweaters, H Sedin and D Sedin. I didn't know which one was which. Thank God they grabbed the right one.
Oh my gosh, great.
Very good.
You did so well. Okay. Another question.
Do one.
Number one. What was the biggest act of kindness you've ever seen in hockey, either from a player or a coach?
Well, we're really blessed in the NHL. We have the best players in the world, not just the best athletes, but the way they act, the way they treat the media, the way they treat each other, the way they treat the fans. Like, we're really blessed. We got a phenomenal type of athlete that plays our game. And the acts of kindness, I mean, under Gary Bettman, he's turned the league into a giant philanthropy machine. The good that the NHL does for natural disasters, and hockey fights cancer, and hockey is for everybody. It's unbelievable. The biggest single act of kindness I've seen, I'd have to sit down and think about it. They are so common. Acts of kindness in our league are so common. Players are wonderful. Coaches are wonderful. Owners are generous. We're very lucky.
That's beautiful.
Super. Okay, Brian, you answered all 6 questions. We raised a lot of money. Thank you so much. But I really wanted you to pick one question. Can we do one bonus question?
Sure.
Just to finish on the light note. Okay. The last time we saw you, you were trying some of the famous Bob McCowan chili. Be honest. Whose chili is better, yours or Bob's? But be honest.
Mine.
Tell us.
Bob's is pretty good, and his is authentic chili, which is just, you know, if you put beans in it, it's not supposed to be real chili. I put beans and corn in mine, so it's not technically pure chili. But I use marinated steak. I cut the steak up into cubes. I marinate it overnight. I soak the beans. He just makes it out of cans and stuff. So mine's way better.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We raised a lot of money. I want to thank you. And I want to thank CanadaLand.com because they're our sponsor and they donate a lot of money today. So
thank you.
Thank you all.
But Brian, can I ask you one more question? Something very short. So last time when we saw you, you mentioned that you're involved with training service dogs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, not so much me, but my ex-wife is doing this with my daughters. So and when they come and stay with me, the dog comes. Oh. So they've got a yellow lab. Her name is Costa, and they're training her for I think 14 months. At which point in time they will give her back to the service dog place, and they'll determine if she's suitable to be a service dog. You know, the highest level obviously is to be a guide dog. Watching traffic, stopping, you know, that's the highest level. Then there's service dogs, therapy dogs. And if she can't be a therapy dog, they will offer her back to our family, and I'm sure we'd take her. But otherwise, you raise this dog for 12, 14 months, and then you hand it over. It's very noble. I mean, it's going to change somebody's life. I think it's wonderful. But it's going to be really hard on both of my daughters, but especially my younger daughter. She's really crazy about animals. So there's a downside to it, but it's pretty cool too.
It's a beautiful act.
It's amazing. And thank you again so much for doing that. Like one more time, I'm going to mention we are raising money for animal shelters. So thank you, Brian. Thank you for doing this today.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.